well, all right. Let's see here. We still need our colors, our brushes, more or less. So, like, those aren't brushes. Those are objectively not brushes. That's fine. Get those. Let's find something else here. We have black. We still need brown. Don't know if that's my favorite kind of brown, though. Those are brushes. So are these. That's a lot better. Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot more. The worst part is we forgot to grab the reference pictures, which is, well, pretty par for the course not to remember reference pictures. You just need to go open another another Facebook thing, go to photos and albums and the Mark I. We're going to be working on this bad boy. And we got to see. Just as I suspected, there were no weld marks. I figured with this piece that there wasn't any. All right. From what I can tell, there aren't any specific paint chips. It's got pretty basic, yeah, it's got pretty basic weathering going on. So this is a fairly simple piece. Nice. It's a good looking piece though, isn't it? I think it looks nice. A little rough around the edges, a little bit of paint. Looks pretty bad, pretty obvious right there. Few nicks. Kind of overall, I like this overlapping bits of the armor. I always liked the way this piece looked in its somewhat simplicity. All right. Well, we need these. We need this. We're gonna discard that piece for now. We don't need all of this just yet. Not quite there yet. You know, IMO. Let's see. Anyways, if you got 2 minutes in somehow, you should be able to tell we're live in the prop shop. I'm your host, a Calderness. I should check the audio, see how the audio is coming in on this. Because I honestly can't tell. Well, there's people they can probably hear. They'd probably tell me if they can't hear. So I won't check the audio because I'm that much of a professional. So yeah, let's see. We need this brush to be not wet. We need it to be very much the opposite of not wet. Yeah, that should be pretty all right. This is definitely. Oh yeah, see, that's dry. That's mostly dry. That's all it needs to be. Maybe I am mistaken. Okay, cool. I was literally about to check. I can't hear you. All right, cool. I was like, you know what? No one's saying anything. Maybe I should double check just in case. Just in case I messed up. Believe it or not, there's a possibility. I need that to be more this way. Yeah, I think that's like slightly better. We'll go with that. That there, these there. This is just going to be black from the start. We'll make it simple. We'll do the tread first because that's the easiest way to do it. And with the tread, we're going to need these guys for later. We can just leave them out though. We just want them to dry off. All right, cool. This brush has seen its fair share. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna do a new brush. I figured we might have to. Yeah, so right now we're just gonna tackle the tread, and we'll see how much of the tread we can get done. You know, it's black, fairly simple thing to paint. And of course, with the way I made everything, I just kind of went and made it without thinking about what exactly the plan was for later. So when we made it, I didn't think about how easy it was going to be to paint the tread. I just made everything to finally get it made. That's right. Thank you. Appreciate it. We're sort of getting everything right. This is technically one of the harder ways. It's not one of the harder ways. One of the more difficult ways to paint something when this needs to be all black and we can't easily mask it off and use painter's tape, spray paint. So we have to go in, and acrylic should be fine because this won't be doing a ton of flexing. There's not a ton going on in this piece. And basically it's that for a while, you know, like, I don't know, I think these are easier to do live because there's not as much power tools. I'm not wearing the breath mask for when I have to use the glue. And overall, this is a more simple thing to follow along with. It's just brush strokes, fairly easy, you know? I mean, yeah, like, that's not, I mean, I know how to mask things. That's personally offended by that. I know how to mask things off, but it would just be too much tedious masking, you know? There's a difference where it's like a couple of straight lines, but this would just be annoying. That doesn't look too bad. It's fine by me if you never leave. We'll live like this forever. It's fine by me. Right now, anyone's like, I wish this guy knew how to sing. That's okay. It's my workshop. If you don't want to listen to it, you don't have to be here. Oh man, what a day, what a week. Can't believe it's Wednesday. Yikes. Imagine if it was like actually Tuesday and I said, man, I can't believe it's Wednesday, and everybody'd be like, actually it's Tuesday, and I'd be like, oh man, killing me. Yeah, that'd be real rough. This is the Iron Man armor that we are getting painted. This is the right thigh piece that we got our base coat of silver, and now we're painting the tread a thick black, and then we're going to be going over everything, kind of dry brushing, doing a little like pitter patter or rough around it, kind of making it look all charred a little more battle damaged and worn, making the metal look a bit roughed up and not the shiny silver. You know, it's still a base color of silver. That's still what the main color of the armor is. It's just a really rough looking silver because, you know, he made it out of scrap junk. So this is still the Iron Man Mark 1 armor, which should be done. Gosh, I've probably said this should be done about a million times. Should be done X days, X time. Should be done this year sometime. And that could be false. I said it was going to be done April this year. And obviously, it's September. And, you know, obviously not done. But thank you so much. Thanks for support. Yeah, appreciate it. I'm slow. Like, if it's not a quick, I honestly, I definitely do better with quick projects that I could set out a timeline for. When oh yeah, it's super fun. Oh yeah, I love painting like this. I love dry painting. I think it's great. Doing a little bit of a little roughing, scuffing, and whatnot. I honestly am gonna glue the insides of this tread because they're bothering the hell out of me right now. I'm trying to remember if I glued the last tread though. That's the real kicker. Figuring out what I did for the other piece and why I maybe did that or didn't do that. Because it's probably been 2 weeks since I painted the other tread. I painted other things besides that in those 2 weeks, but trying to remember what I did specifically for that piece is what the hard part is going to be. But you know, we're getting there. People are like, you left this area. Yeah, I did kind of leave that area. Let me go back to that. There we go. Gotta double check, make sure I'm getting the top here. And then of course I'll need to also get the inside as well, because that is not exactly hidden from anybody's field of view when I'll be walking around. Unlike the total inside of this armor, you should be able to see the inside of the tread here. So we'll need to make sure that's covered up once we get to that part of it. Very happy I'm using a smaller brush. I used a lot bigger brush than the other one, and you can definitely tell because it scuffed up all this surrounding bits of the armor that didn't need to be black. Well, they needed to be black. They didn't need to be thick black coated on. They just needed to be a blackish, dirty color. Don't know the best way to totally say that. All right. Getting on the inside here. There we go. Look at that, just a little end bit. We're almost done with the tread. Well, that's nothing important. I say that, but of course we still have to go through the entire, inside portion of it. So, there's that. I need to get back into a better schedule of doing these live ones because they're being like 2 or 3 weeks apart. And that's no good because I don't do a ton of extra work when I'm not doing these. That's the outside. That is the outside tread that goes all the way around, is totally painted. Now we need to do the inside of said track/tread. It's a little bit harder to tell / see what's going on. Doing these little crooks first because they're going to be the hardest bits to see. You about have to cross your eyes to get in there. You have to not only cross your eyes, you also have to dot your T's to get in there. See what I never mind. I'll be here all week, but I'll only live stream every 8 weeks or so. Based on past record, hasn't been extraordinary. See how great I am at this? Wow. It's like just the number is number 3, and I'm painting by number, and number 3 is black, and I'm just killing it. I am absolutely killing it. Do. This is probably really hard for people to see, but just basically some acrylics, some brushing, just slapping paint on foam. Probably quicker to go from this side. Very difficult to see. The best part about this is very forgiving. If I mess up, it's not the end of the world, which is cool. And the reason that's cool is because this whole thing is going to get roughed up to make it look rough anyways. It's not supposed to look brand new, which is another reason I quite like this armor, is that it's going to look nice and rough. Flipping it around. Now I need to do this stretch, and then we are done with the tread. Wow, it has been almost 20 minutes. You see how long it takes to paint something? Like, I'm literally painting one piece black. That's it, just black. That's it. And you can basically say I've been doing it the whole time. Like, can't say I've taken any breaks. But yeah, 20 minutes. Time is flying by when you're having this much fun. Should switch to this side. And we're almost there. We're almost done with just the tread part. I'd say that's it. Kind of double check here. Do touch-ups where we need them. That's the tread. A very nice, thick, slick, black color on the tread. I can dig it. I can dig it a lot. I think that's great. Now we're gonna go ahead, take as much paint off this brush here, and then don't want to brutalize the bristles. Okay, that's not a term. I was about to say as they say, but I don't think brutalizing the bristles is a term anyone uses ever. But you know, never know. Never too late to make up bits of language. I'm just gonna go ahead, put that there. You gotta take care of your brushes, make them last longer. I mean, they're like 99 cents, sure, for these like craft brushes, but like still, you know, you want to take care of your stuff. Yeah, nice. Next up, this guy, Big Kahuna, big cool guy. This dude, this is our dry brush. This right here, we're just going at it. See, we just want to add scuffs like that. That's all the dry brush guy. This is his job. He's good at it. If we want it to be a little bit of a darker scuff, we'll just go a little deeper in it. These scuffs are still pretty light, so we're gonna add a bit more black paint to add to, which basically do when you dry brush is you add just enough paint, like you can't see it on my thumb, but I just barely have a little itty bitty bit of paint on it. So when you do this, it's just taking dry paint from it. Obviously, it's still somewhat wet because it's got to come off the brush. And then however much pressure you put on it makes these little scuffs. And that's going to help give it that, I don't know how to put it, it's this dented, kind of used look. And we want it to really, really show that this was made out of bits and pieces stored in a dusty, dirty cave, you know? Like that's the whole point of this armor. So I'm gonna add more black here. Well, basically what we do, it's not very obvious to tell. Yeah, I know, it's awesome. It's super great. Dry brushing is fun as heck. And there's more ways to do it, obviously, than with just like, see how it's darker? That's honestly a little too wet, but I kind of, the cool thing about it, it's super forgiving. Take a napkin, bam, you know, even if we mess up, it's a super duper forgiving technique. And it only gets better as you keep going, because as you're painting, your brush will, believe it or not, get drier, which is cool. I really like to rough up this gear bit style thing that's on Iron Man's armor. Yeah, man. Yeah, man, I like that. Taking away that shine is everything. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's cool. On the inside here, we can just go do whatever, honestly. See how I'm not looking at it, like totally? Trust your brushes, ladies and gents. Trust your brushes. It's not probably not the right thing, but really want to smash the brush. Yeah, that looks cool. What I like, probably my favorite bit to do is the camera will focus, is to really get it along these edges so it looks like something was scraped, because it's a hard edge, right? So, you know, the odds of it clanging with some other metal or getting shoved around, it's a very, very high possibility. Same with like a long edge like this. I quite dig that. I think that's neat. You know, we're gonna go more into the details later. Kind of using that edge there as well. Just to make it look slightly more rough. We need to add some more. We're gonna dump a bunch of black paint, and we're just gonna use the rest of this cardboard as our more or less canvas here. Canvas, well, not really canvas, but as like, this is our canvas in the most technical sense, the thing we're painting. See, like it's pretty dark. It's a little better. There's some spots you might want to leave a little darker, but you know, not too terribly dark. Not to where it looks like black paint smudged on there. This is a circular piece. Gonna try to get some scuffings along its edge there. Sort of tell. I think that looks neat. Yeah, this is fun. Yeah, man, I like that. These side edges like this, they all need to be done as well. Get them nice and rough looking. Oh, heck yeah. Those can be pretty dark. I'm okay with them being pretty dark. We'll work something in there a little bit later. Back to kind of where we started. Add some friends to this guy. That was a bit too dark right there. Take it off. Still have some really good working time with the paint. All that good stuff right there. All that good stuff right there. Yeah, man, I dig that. These little nubby bits. It's hard to tell in this lighting, but I think it looks quite good. So what I like to do is when I have a bevel piece where it's not two separate pieces, but they kind of make something that looks a bit like that, you know, basically is running it along the edge like this will create a flat, you know, black line, and then running it either direction, well, it should all face the same way. So let's do that really quick. Running it in the same direction will make the line faded out, and it's going to just go over this bevel piece, which I quite enjoy. It's kind of showing the paint is specifically being scraped along where there's a more obvious edge, and I dig that. Yeah, man, I dig that. I dig that a lot. That was like really obvious black scratch mark. That was a bit much, you know. It was a bit, I wouldn't say it totally needed to be there like that. Okay. This is the inside. So that looks pretty fine there. All right, let's see. Huh. I'm trying to remember why that piece is cut like that on the inside. I honestly can't remember. So like the piece on the inside here, see if you can ever see it. Right there, you can barely tell, but it's not flush all the way. It has this little cut bit. And I'm trying to remember why it's like that. I clearly reused this piece of foam. So I cut something out of it that had a negative effect on it, like that, you know, like that's not the real piece that I was trying to get out, but that was the cut that was left over into this foam. Now on the inside here, just so it's not totally silver and it doesn't stand out, we already don't want people's eyes drawn to it. So we don't want to do this really thick black, but it'll get thinner as we go. It's not the most important part to get done, but it's still something we should do. Some darker black on the inside there. Take it away with the rag. Going back. I'm going to make sure that this inside piece is somewhat touched by paint. Around these edges too, kind of smaller area, easy to forget about. You know, I want to make sure there's water gets in there and it rusts, you know, so you want to make sure you get little areas like that done as well. Looking pretty solid. This is still, like this in the light, just doesn't even look like it was worn down at all. So we're gonna add some to there. This piece was definitely not touched. Grab a little bit of that wet paint. Added a bit too much. Looks a bit too dark, in my opinion. So, diddle-a-dit. That looks better. Nothing looks better. Yeah, let's check it out. Looks quite good. I don't want to get too crazy. That doesn't look terrible. This stuff we need to do. This gross inside bit here. Grab a bit more black. Just so that's not a super bright silver. Get this bit along the tread there. All right, cool. Now we need these side bits. This little cranny. Looking sharp. It's not really sharp, I guess more dull in a way, right? Like, that's what it is, technically. Oh, weird, it was like not loading. Whack. Yeah, that was super weird. It's really throwing me off. It was not loading. Wouldn't let me scroll. All right, cool. I grabbed this piece and like bent it. Well, here, let me show you. All right, now you can drop some love. See, from that direction, it looks great. It looks totally fine. See, come on, Justin, don't do me like that. Don't do me dirty, man. No one, I mean, like, this is thigh armor. No one's gonna see this diamond pattern. Come on. my leg's gonna be in this bit. No need to sand that off. And like this part is all against my leg, so yeah, it's fine. Now, yeah, it's fine. See, yeah, sure. He's like, yeah, but like the diamond patterns, bro. It's just, it's always, every time I'm just here, I'm just chilling. Justin comes in, see you still haven't sanded off that diamond pattern. I'm like, yep. Don't plan on sanding it off anytime soon. It's not gonna, I guess. Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it. What do you got? You need to start buying that foam with no diamond pattern. That's the real key to it. Like I said though, there's really no reason to cover this diamond pattern because literally no one but me is gonna see it because my entire leg is gonna be in here with baggy clothes. So like, there really isn't a reason to cover it in paint. This is just me being, I don't know if it's paranoia or what it is. I just want to add a little bit. Just a touch. Just add a touch. Now, I think we're almost there. I don't want to overdo it. You know, I need to double check some of these things. So I think we're about ready to go into the finer creases and crevices to bring out. I'm going to do this bit here. We haven't done this. With like some straight up black. There we go. Just so like if there's any shine, any potential for shine, you just cut that out. No shine here. Cool. That is all she wrote for the big brush, and that was almost another 20 minutes. Almost, not quite another 20 minutes. So that's cool. Now what we're gonna do is take our remainder of black and add a little bit of brown to it. And we're gonna go ahead, flip, bloop. I'm gonna mix it in. I'm gonna double check what color that brown is. I really don't like how almost red, this chocolate bar color. I don't like how do I say this? How like red this brown looks. Yeah, not a fan. Very much not a fan, but that's okay. Beggars cannot be choosers. Which one of these was I using to mix paint? Which one of these brushes is just destroyed? I'll just use that. Yeah. This brush, beyond repair. Spray paint got in the bristles or whatever, so we just take the wooden part of it. Makes these a little closer together. And there we go. Is that about the right? That's about the right color. Not a little bit. We're gonna add a little bit more brown. Bit more brown, just be safe. That might have been too much. We'll see. We can always add more black. Then we start getting into a dangerous territory, mixing colors that never ends. Yeah, let's see. That's actually a pretty good color. It's actually not bad right there. Nice, neat. All right, cool. Now we're gonna take this little bitty guy. Here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna start from a point like this. So we're gonna start from here and go all the way around the cube. No more switching it around like crazy. Basically, we're gonna take this little brush and where there's creases, we're gonna paint it in. Paint it in like that, super duper thick layer. And then take this guy take it off. So instead of a thick layer, it's a faded layer, but it still shows it's a pretty obvious crease there. Taking away, again, most of the paint, but it still leaves a really dark residue, especially in this light. But overall, it's really very thin. And it just kind of shows you that that's just where a place where water or something would pool up. This bit, I hate this right here. I hate everything about that. Cover that with some paint. Things you hate, you just cover them up. It's a valuable lesson for people. I'm sure that's very important. I want to make sure that inside here, my brush can get on the inside. My paper towel really can't. But I want it to look dark whenever people look at it. So inside there is going to look darker, and it's not going to shine off so much silver. And then the brush is pretty dry right now because we used it. So I'm going to add more kind of brownish dry brushing to right there. Here there's a cut. We used an imperfect piece of foam. That's okay. Instead of trying to cover that up with more foam or something, we're going to paint all the way inside of it, all the way in it and around it. Then we're going to take it off. But of course, we can only get so much from the inside. So now it's going to be darker, more rusted-ish looking, you know? No happy little trees here. Nope, that was the name of the last one. And we're not doing happy trees. We're doing terrible accidents and things that shouldn't be allowed to be in my costumes. That's right. I mean, if you make an accident, that's fine. Like, this is like, if you're gonna like mess something up, this technique is the way to mess something up, because I don't like how much that looks. This might be seen as kind of gross, but it'll take off the paint. It works, doesn't it? Yeah. All right. Yeah, really, it's gonna make these edges really pop out, stand out. It's cool. This right here is a pretty obvious part where my Dremel caught. We don't have to hide that my Dremel was there, or that my Dremel caught too much of the foam, tore too much off, or sanded too much off. Instead, you know what that is, baby? That's battle damage. That's battle damage right there. Yeah, totally. That's how we do things here at Patriot Props. I like the way that looks. Moving on to this bit here. Yeah. Do. So now there's a pretty obvious weld. Not really a weld line. It's not welding. It's not like pooled up metal or whatever. It's just a line that was supposed to be like two different pieces held together using like these little clamps. So we totally filled those in with paint. Now, I'm going to see how much we can take out of this. Wow. There's still a lot in there. There we go. See? Now that looks like a fine, dirty line in between those ones. There are little lines on these little guys. I'm going to fill in the little lines. Fill in the little lines. And then once again, that about rolled into my pool of paint. I'm going to take the paint away. And that's going to give these little guys a little more character as to how deep they are. Holding it back, that just made me realize there are some cut marks here with the X-Acto knife that I didn't totally get rid of. So now we're going to not just hide them, not totally hide them, but we're going to bring them out a little, because this will seep into that cut, make it slightly more obvious that it's there. Can you sort of tell there's a cut there? Maybe not, maybe yeah. That's okay, lighting in here is pretty terrible for me to try to be a classroom teacher, seeing if people can tell. Mad skills here, in case you didn't see it. Yeah. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Killing it. Killing it at randomly smudging paint around and then smudging that paint more with a what's this called? That's how late it is. I can't figure out what a paper towel is called. Towel made of paper. Oh, what's it called again? That's about it. This looks a little bare. Add some stuff there. Kind of make it still kind of bare, but in a different bare kind of way, you know? And then on this side, what do you want to do? We're going to get in there. All right. Now we're going to take that out. Let's do it. That's got a wet bit of paint. Huh, that's whacked for real. We're gonna add something like that. See all those little weird bits? Now they're a little more worn in. That looks cool. This side, need a little bit. I want this to be very obvious. See how that's like a really gross piece of paint? That's because there's this weird ribbing here that it got scratched on something. And I'm like, hey, if you're gonna get scratched, you might as well make it a piece of battle damage for the armor. So yeah, man, I like that. This is a little dark. That's a little bit better. It's not as dark as it looks on camera, I promise. This could use a bit more because we're not dry brushing anymore. We have to result really make that look a bit more faded, even if it does look a bit too uniform. Yeah, I'm cool with that. That looks good to me. Sweet. That's that piece, I would say. Very nice. Another piece down. Go ahead. Clean off our brush there. Got to make sure it's good. Probably got a ton of paint where the teeth meet the wood bit. That always bothers people, but that's okay. It's going to happen. It's bound to happen. It's not bound to happen, I guess. That's a lie. If you do a better job of painting, it's not totally going to happen, actually. All right. Cool. So that's that piece. I really enjoyed making that piece. That was quite fun. And I think with the 50 minutes on the clock, I'm going to call it there. This was fun. We're almost at the painting stage for the helmet. It got sealed in blue, and we're filling up all these seam lines and any other lines that are appearing with this kind of putty stuff. So maybe the helmet's next. Maybe not. Helmet's really cool. I can't wait to paint this thing. This helmet's dope. Turned out really well, and it was the piece I was most worried about. So, all right, everybody, this has been where. Let's find the end live video button so we can do this like almost seamlessly. This has been episode. Oh, that was less seamless. Episode 54, Boxes Scraps, live in the prop shop. Thank you so much for joining me. Everybody have a good one. We'll see you maybe next week. Honestly, don't know.